make a fortune on the stone mask. And he was like, yeah. And it would be funny, you guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're anti-PETA.
Yo, what's up, YouTube? Welcome to the Retros Network YouTube channel, and welcome to the Weebcast podcast. It's someone after Nguyen back again to host another one of these Weeb podcasts where we give you all things and everything for your Weeb needs. Of course, joining me are our special guests today, Mr. Kwa Vu and On Hong. You guys seen them on all my podcasts, and they've been a bunch of Weebcasts already. And we're here to talk or introduce to you guys a whole new series called the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, where we I don't know if it's been like stated on the channel before, but like Qual's like our resident JoJo's guy. He like does all the JoJo's videos, or not all the he's watched JoJo's. He's the only one of all of us besides like Steven who's watched JoJo's here. And he's been trying to get us to watch for the longest time, but me and Anna denied it because there's certain like
too much testosterone.
Yeah, we just never got around to. We just never watched it.
It's like free content. It's like for content, I'll watch it.
Yeah, and then we came up with this series, this idea. Whereas, like, okay, if we do it, let's do a podcast about it. Let's like watch along with it. So, Qual's me on our first time watches of JoJo's, and Qual's obviously he's watched the whole series, but he's also reading the manga for the first time. So as he reads the manga and finishes it, like part 1, we're gonna watch it and finish part 1, and then we do a podcast after each part. So obviously this is the first episode. It's gonna be about the first part, Jonathan Joestar's part, episode 1 through 8 of the first series, and
1 through 9, right? 1 through 9.
Oh, episode 1 through 9. My bad. And anyways, like, let's start off. I think it's a good way to start. Just walk through the plot of the first part. It's like, how did it start? I forgot.
It starts with the horse carriage.
Yeah, and it crashes down. Then Dio's parents comes down and they try to loot him.
I'm surprised you remember the first part. Like the very beginning, you don't say you don't remember most of the plot.
I do remember.
You just kind of skimmed it out.
Then I kind of fell asleep like in.
Yeah, dude. The first part was kind of tough to get through. I mean, so after the horse carriage part, it gets to like the whole
time
driver.
skip, right?
Yeah, it's like basically Jonathan's dad gets crippled in this accident and his mom dies, and he owes his life now to this other dude, and that dude ends up being like Dio's dad. And then so like Dio ends up going to like Jonathan's house, and then basically live together like
Dio beats the shit out of his dog.
Oh yeah, shit! It's just funny, bro.
Yeah, and it would be funny, you guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're anti-PETA.
We're anti-PETA. No, don't let PETA do it, bro. They're gonna fucking demonetize the fucking video. Well, I don't monetize anyways, but anyways. It's gonna look really bad in the future, bro. Watch like 4 or 5 years, it's gonna look really bad.
They didn't clip that thing like.
It's okay, PETA's canceled too, bro.
That's true.
Kind of canceled.
Are they really?
Yeah.
For what?
I think they euthanize dogs, right?
Do they?
Dude.
Yeah.
I thought that against that.
At least Dio leaves the dog alive.
No, he did not leave the dog alive. I think it's to the next part. So then, yeah, I mean, like, Dio just does everything in his power to like wreck Jonathan's life. Like he's like he fucking beats the shit out of him and kicks his dog and shit. And then Jonathan gets this girlfriend, Erin or whatever, right? This is the first time we see her.
Yeah. And
then fucking Dio's Mr. Steer girl just making out with her out of nowhere. Out of nowhere.
I mean, plot development wasn't that profound for they were I think 13 at the time. So there's what could you?
They were 13. They were pretty big 13 years, but they were 13.
Yeah.
At the before the time skip, before they go to college.
What?
It's like a 7-year time skip.
I didn't think they were 13.
They're like 13.
What the fuck? They were fucking big as
They
hell.
were built, yeah.
Yeah, I was like,
they built like you, Paul.
That's not JoJo. It's weird because because like some kids are like, you know how Poco in like the latter half of part 1, like he's built normally, and then it's like the moment they hit like 10 years old, they start turning hella built.
I know, I was like insane, or like.
Plus, most of the side characters weren't even that built. Like some of Dio's like cronies, like the little.
Yeah, I mean everyone but the
like wow, Dio, he's done something that no other people were willing to do and shit like that.
It's so you can know that Jonathan's a fucking main character, bro. If you didn't already know, like that's the thing with part 1 too. With me, I was like, they did everything in their in the possible power to like make sure you knew that Jonathan's the main character. Like this guy's the good guy, Dio's the bad guy. It was so like black and white in my opinion. You know what I mean?
The story was really shallow, and Jonathan himself was shallow as fuck too.
Yeah, I mean, we get to that more. So as we get that, we get time skip like you was talking about, and then this is like when you really see the black and whiteness of like the characters, because in the beginning, like you see like Jonathan, who's still kind of naive in the end. But he's like very naive in the beginning, but he kind of grows up a little bit, and he gets to college. the whole rugby thing, and then how about after this? Like, does Dio use the mask after this point?
Oh, so after this, their dad gets sick, so George just
Oh yes.
and then Jonathan finds out that George has been poisoning George very ever so slowly. He goes and confronts him, and then it's like, Dio, I'm gonna go find proof that you poisoned my dad by going to the shadiest part of London, Ogre Street, and then I'm gonna ask this Oriental man who obviously sold you the poison, Dio. They actually went over that a little bit more because they actually showed like the Oriental man selling Dio the poison like before like the whole confrontation, so you get a better idea of like Dio as a person. But anyway, this is the super racy, the super racy representation of like Asian guys.
We're gonna talk about that. We're talking about JoJo's like low-key racist.
I was like, damn, who's this old crinkled ass like Vegeta character? Because you saw his hairline.
Yeah.
His hairline was like this.
They're like Oriental man, the most Chinese guy we could possibly.
You don't even know his you don't even know his name until like in the anime until later, right? And they're like Wang Chan. I'm not disrespect Jonathan like that. And I was like, damn, this is so racist. Like, I was like, like you know, some of the alt community loves JoJo's because they think it's so underground, but this is not really underground anymore. JoJo's like literally one of the biggest franchises of all time. But then it's like damn, you let this slide? Like, literally, man, he's fucking calling him racist. Oh, one important scene that I think that was not really important, but it's just a funny scene that I think they left out was, you know how Dio like put Danny the dog inside the incinerator? In the manga, Danny actually breaks out of the steel cage, right? When he's burning alive, so it's just literally Danny. It's like almost a full screen splash of Danny on fire. I was like, holy shit.
Wait, does he live or does he just like
fucking dies? No. Like, you know what the butler's like, oh no, there's someone in there. Oh, what are we gonna do? And like, you know, they cut to like after school, and they're like John's like, oh no, my dog just died. Right? No, it's not how it works in the manga. The manga straight up shows Danny burning alive. I was like, holy shit, that's kind of crazy.
That's pretty tough, bro. I mean, fucking show because I'm not PETA, but like, shout out to PETA.
I know. True.
Yeah, so then we have all that, and obviously then we get like another semi. Is it another semi time skip? It's like a month, right?
It's like a month. No, wait.
You know, it's when he travels to go find the antidote or whatever.
It's like 2 days. It's like 2 days.
Speed riding.
It's like 2 days. Like he used to go straight to Ogre Street in like a week or something.
Wait, you meant speed riding at Ogre Street?
Yeah, it's like 2 days. It's like a day long. It's not even really time skip. It's like they're really following chronology. Right?
Yeah, so then he goes and then Speed Viking comes and he meets him and he's like, oh, you're a good guy. Because then you didn't hurt me, my friends. Yeah, you didn't fuck me up that bad. That's basically what happened, right? I mean, and then after that, that's when we get the stone mask. Because he comes back home, right? He's like, Dio, I have the antidote. I exposed your ass. And the whole thing with the cops.
Yeah. Then Dio was fucking around with the mask, and you found out it turns people into vampires.
Yeah. Then we found out the whole vampire thing. And this is when we see Dio become like, probably like the Dio that people are more familiar with.
People are more familiar with Part 3 Dio. Part 3 Dio is, I wouldn't say drastically different, but Part 3 Dio, like, you gotta keep in mind, Part 3 takes place like almost 100 years after Part 1.
Oh damn.
Yeah, so
we have
I won't
to
tell you how Dio lives, but I mean, they explain to you in like the first couple minutes of like Part 3, but
the next couple episodes, the third episode of the series
will be about Part 3. Well, yeah, I mean, Part 1 Dio is something I don't think a lot of people really look into because who really watched Part 1? Like,
is it not memorable?
It's not memorable. We see the origin. It's really telling. It's really telling of parts of his character. Like you see his cunning, like his charisma, his like almost natural tendency to like, sway people like through terror, and like through his power. You know, so as opposed to Jonathan, who is more convincing of people through his noble ideals and like proof of his actions type of thing. You know.
Yeah, so then, I mean, this is pretty much, you see the origin of Dio, kind of origin of Jonathan, and then they fight whatever, and then Jonathan thinks he kills Dio, but he doesn't, right?
Chop off my head. And he falls to the ground, and guess who saves him? Oriental man, Wang Cho.
Wait, was this right now?
No, it was right after, like, when
because this is the part we thought he incinerated him or whatever. Right?
Oh, not. Oh, Wang Cho also saved him then, too.
Yeah, he saves him.
Not really saved him, he was like, I'm gonna make a fortune on this stone mask. He was like, for the bottom level.
Yeah, so then we have like that, right? And then this is where Jonathan learns Hamon.
My only qualm about that fight is how long they fell for. Like,
Oh,
you see
the drop? Yeah,
it's a 3-story house. Keep in mind, it's like a 3-story house, and they're just falling up. Like,
it is a big house, though. To be fair.
They're like, how am I gonna kill Dio? And then it's like they're like they're just falling for like 4 minutes, and then you're like, damn.
They do a lot of stuff in that fucking 4 minutes. Like Jonathan has the time to like think about a plan, like do the whole thing with this dive bomb, and then Dio does the thing where he like sticks his foot into the wall.
Yeah.
And then the fucking Jonathan, he pull out his belt, fucking tie a lasso, throw that shit, catch Dio's leg, and then pull himself back up. Like, what the fuck? I was like, damn. I was like, impressive, but cool. I mean the whole scene.
Yeah, so that's what like you're getting just a taste of the first what I call like kind of just JoJo
like
ass pull, like JoJo ass pull, like things you don't expect that will turn the fight. You know what I mean? It's not like a normal shonen power up in a sense, right? It's more like, wow, how creative can you get, or how creative and bullshit of a way can you make up to get the character out of the story?
That's true, and I mean we started part 2 a little bit, so I think we definitely see that a lot more in part 2.
Yeah.
But then we get that to the next episode. But,
like did you expect like when this is probably like the only part 2 talk because I don't want to go too deep into it.
Yes,
like when they were fighting Santana, right? And then when they jump into the well, did you expect for Jonathan to say it's fucking high noon right now? So there's water in the well, so he dodges, so it's sunlight both from and to. So it's like he's just getting like Eiffel Towered. He got Eiffel Towered by the sun on both sides. So then you're like, wow. And then also like like the grenade whole situation with Straight Red. You're like,
I think that was fucking asshole like a bitch. Oh, we get to this in episode 2 podcast.
This is all I'm saying. It's like wow, JoJo assholes are crazy, but not like super like kind of like boring. You know what I mean? Like it's not shonen power. It's like, oh wow, Goku turned Super Saiyan Blue. Cool, his hair color changed.
They didn't make Super Stun or Super Hamon.
They actually did make Super Stans or Super Stands. In a sense, in a way, but they don't give it to everybody. They don't even give it to. Actually, they do, but they're just called Requiem Stands. But you'll learn about them in like part 5. So I mean, he doesn't use them until like super later. So.
Okay, and then so we get that, and then we finally get Jonathan learn Hamon. Like he learns from Zabelli, and then he learns how to use Hamon. And then this was like around like episode like 4 or 5 or something. So we finally got introduced to the power system in this anime, right? And then it was like episode 4. So I mean, it was moving. This
is when An fell asleep. Is when he told us. Like when they started learning Hamon.
Last thing I remember was him fucking punching the frog.
But then
that was fucking funny though.
Yeah.
He's like.
Yeah, really gonna smash the shit out of the frog.
Right?
I mean, that'd be pretty impressive. You just fucking like eviscerate the frog. Like that shit would be like, damn, that's impressive.
Yeah, that woke me up. But then 5 minutes in, I fell back.
Yeah, I mean.
Well, we do watch these like late at night. Like,
I mean, I just feel like the power system of Hamon isn't as developed as it is in like part 2. Part 2. But like its use isn't as
Yeah.
The only thing that was pretty creative was like, wow, they use like magnetism, like overdrive, something like that.
To fly on the leaves.
Fly on the
That shit was weird.
I was like, that's kind of crazy though. But it's like Hamon is so, universal in its uses. Like, oh, Hamon can heal. Hamon can make you stronger. Hamon can numb the pain as you dislocate your joint to like make your punch longer.
You know what Hamon is? Hamon is like Hashirama cells from Naruto, bro. It's like whenever there's a problem in Naruto, bro, they're Hashirama cells on that bitch. You know what I mean? Oh, like missing limb, Hashirama cells. Oh, you want to be immortal? Hashirama cells. Oh, you want the renegade? Hashirama cells. I was like, answered everything. That's Hamon, bro. I mean, Quan doesn't get it because he didn't want Naruto.
Yeah, but I mean,
hopefully the rest of the community gets it. But yeah, so he learns Hamon, and then he finds out that guess what? Dio is actually still alive, and then Dio comes and like fucks him up with the fucking those 2 knights from fucking Queen Elizabeth and
Tarkus and Bruford.
Yeah, some shit like I don't know. But yeah.
I fucking love.
And that's when he hit the here's my sword, luck, but now it's pluck. I was like, what the fuck does that mean, bro? I was like, okay, luck makes sense, right? Oh, you grant someone luck, like they're lucky now. I was like, what the fuck is pluck? Yeah, like.
Can you explain that, Cole?
I forgot. I mean, I think Araki was using some form of meaning of the word pluck that has in regards to like courage, right? But I forgot.
Pluck courage.
Yeah, and I was seeing like other mentions. Oh, there was like a book series of like called Luck and Pluck in like what the late 1800s or something like that.
Nah, it's stretching at that point. It's stretching at that point. He was like, fuck, what word can I make out of luck? And he was like, fuck it, pluck.
He's like, the community's gonna eat this shit up. And
yeah,
he
was
right. And I mean, if you were just giving him the sword, I'd be like, oh, that's cool. He got like a sword from like Bruford and.
Yeah, and that was like what their second fight, right? with Dia.
That would be the
Jonathan
third
said-
fight. You left out the fight with Jack the Ripper when they entered tunnel. It was like.
Oh no, I mean like this is their first Dio Jonathan's second fight. Cause you said Dio Jonathan's first fight was the one where they're falling through the roof,
He
right?
didn't fight Dio.
He didn't really fight Dio.
Yeah, Zappelli fought Dio.
Zappelli and then Jonathan had to come in and save him.
Yeah.
I guess.
Like his arm was freezing.
So then we get that, and then we get okay. So he fights Buford, right? And he converts him using the power of like fucking gentleman no
jutsu. Gentleman no jutsu. And
He was like, this guy is such a gentleman. Like,
yeah,
He's literally the whole premise.
he's like, I will not punch you anymore. For now, I know you feel pain as a zombie. As the more you feel Hamon, the more you turn human again. Like damn.
I've never heard gentleman used more since like that one arc in My Hero where like the gentleman or whatever, the gentle hero fucking came in. Like I haven't heard gentleman used so much like in my life, bro. I was like, what the fuck? This motherfucker Jonathan doesn't know any other word, bro.
He's like gentleman.
Yeah.
It's like gentleman overdrive. That's pretty much what he did to
Yeah.
fucking Bruford.
But then so we get that, and then he has to go fight. What's the other guy's name? Tarkus. And then is this the part where they go to like the dungeon?
Yeah, into the dungeon where it's like I think it was like the
To the
twin
dungeon.
dragon head game or something like that.
Tarkus fucks them up though.
Yeah, he does until you know like the. So this part like so you get all like shonen tropes in part one. I feel like you see a lot of them. So it's like the classic like
Death of a mentor.
Yeah, death of a mentor, death of a homie,
Yeah.
death of like your best friend, and it powers you up. So like Zappelli dies and he gives like fucking there's a power up. He gives Jonathan the fucking Hamon power up where he's like
Yeah,
He
he's
passed-
transfer my life force
he's
to you.
invincible now.
The deep pass
apparently.
overdrive. He's not really invincible. He's still.
yeah he still like gets fucked. I mean he literally
No.
like,
I mean,
That's
it's part of like
but he's definitely like, so powerful now.
because Zappelli's Hamon is mainly used to heal, right? That's what he is. So he does the deep pass overdrive, heals Jonathan, but also now with the resolve of having to avenge his friend, I feel like he becomes stronger. So yeah, that is the kind of like the general first. Oh, you become stronger because that's your friend. You want to avenge your friend, asshole, right? So then he gets stronger. He fucks up Tarkus. Oh, I'm not gonna even leave a single.
That shit was pretty
piece of
crazy
lip.
though. When he fucking like sliced fucking Zappelli in half and broke Jonathan's neck at the same time. I went, holy shit! Damn! Like already? I was like, god damn.
So then there's that fight.
Crazy.
And then, so they bury or they burn or they cremate Zappelli, and then they go back up, and then that's when you meet Tom Petty, Straits, and Dyer.
Shout out to Straits. They go to so then they go hunt down fucking Dio, right?
Yeah.
And then that's when they fucking box his ass.
Yeah, and
Tiny
so
box ass.
Who went first? Dyer?
Dyer.
Yeah, Dyer got fucked up, bro. He went split kick and then
No,
he was
the,
like, no.
the thunder split cross attack. Like,
He thought he had him.
it's like, no one has ever blocked the thunder split cross attack before.
Whenever any
Neo.
motherfucker says no one ever blocked a blank, you know you can get fucked up, bro.
That you always see that in part 3. It's like the first episode. It's kind of like.
Oh, this happened again when someone goes,
Oh my god.
no one has ever blocked a blank and then gets blocked. It's like when in a like NFL game or something, it's like, oh, this kicker has made 47 straight field goals. That's like the NFL record. No one has ever made more straight field goals in their career. And he immediately goes and misses the field goal. It's a classic trope, man. So you don't see that kind of stuff. But
Okay, yeah.
so
So
Dyer gets fucked up, and then
you skipped kind of like a minor fight between like the guy and like the fucking they save Poco's little sister and like fighting the fucking snakes guy. And they're like, wow.
oh yeah.
And it's kind of like the little like benchmarks. Like, wow, Jonathan really has gotten stronger. And that's when they go meet
Oh
Dio.
yeah, I did miss that. Yeah.
But
Oh yeah.
I mean, Dio's fight was okay. It was
It wasn't that
honestly none of the fights honestly compared to like the first Tracer fight in like part 2.
Oh, Straits versus Joseph.
Yeah. I feel like Straits versus Joseph was like probably.
That was straight asshole though.
Yeah.
I fucking love it.
No, but
That's
I like the
pretty funny.
Jonathan versus Dio fight. So I mean, they win, right? And then Jonathan again beats Dio, but then again Dio.
He starts spinning around and he
Yeah.
catches the fire and goes like, his glove is on fire. Like Speedwagon, like, you know, doing his thing, like hyping Jonathan up. It's like Jonathan, go!
You just say that I'm a like Speedwagon. So far, I don't really like Speedwagon.
I fucking love Speedwagon.
What? Like, how? I mean, Speedwagon just
He should
there.
be
He's just
dead.
there. Yeah, he should be. Like, how's this guy like? How is the Pelly like the master of fucking Hamon alive or dead, but the fucking Speedwagon who does nothing but commentate fucking lives? It's gotta be plot. It's gotta be fucking plot, bro.
I mean, okay, so he's found the Speedwagon Foundation, right? And he dedicates his life to what? Medicine and science. And then he literally creates the foundation in order to to bring about the evils of the stone math. It's what he does on the side that makes him like one of the best psychers.
Why do you need medicine and science when you have fucking Hamon?
I mean, not everyone can learn Hamon.
Not everyone?
Not everyone. You have to have like a certain talent for it. You have to train. That's why they probably have to train like 20 fucking plus years. And then Jonathan he's holding like the fucking branch. He's like, he's a flowers. This man has untapped potential.
And they're like, Hana.
Hanabi. He's like, oh, potential. Oh, holy shit. But yeah. I mean, what's Speedwagon on the side, like, you know, how he financially supports Aaron and Jonathan following the death, Joseph following the death of Jonathan, right?
Yeah. But then, yes, we basically get the whole thing, like, Dio dies, Dio got Genghis saved by China Man.
I mean, plus Speedwagon is like the hype man of the JoJo series for part 1 and 2. He's like Jonathan has improved so much. It's like, Joseph is so creative in how he defeats his enemies. And then I mean, it's like, what, you can't, you want your personal hype man to die, bro? Like, come on.
Well, I don't want him to die, but it's like, how is he not? I mean, let him do something useful. Let him have like some kind of power, like a sword. Give him a sword.
His power, his power is loyalty.
What the fuck?
His power is loyalty.
That's whack, bro.
What do you mean that's whack? That's like the best quality you can ask for in a friend.
Yeah, like, for sure. Like in real life, Speedwagon would be the Hobie, but for like
exactly.
When I watch him on screen, I want him to do something, bro. I want him to do something. Please.
Honestly, like if any of these characters existed in real life, they'd be annoying as fuck. Like Jonathan, like he's gonna be like, yo, Jonathan, you wanna go pick up some girls or like go drink? He's like, I cannot. A true gentleman does not drink. A true gentleman does not drink below the age of 21.
It's so righteous, bro. It's like so like. It feels so I don't know, what's the right word for it? It's like
pretentious.
Yeah, pretentious. There you go. That's the word. Yeah,
I mean, Dio's just a fucking dickhead. I don't know how anyone's friend with like, don't tell Jonathan the secrets of how I punched him. And it's like, what the fuck? Okay, I mean,
no, but he's like charismatic as fuck, right?
That is his character trait. You'll see more of that in part 3, but for right now, let's keep kind of develop like all the cunning side and the charismatic side of Dio. But
Joseph seems cool. I feel like I hang out like Joseph. I feel like I hang out with Joseph. Like we'll get to that part too. But anyway, so like that's pretty much. I want to wrap up this recap part because kind of hanging a little longer. So we're to this back end. I mean, which is actually kind of ironic because the back end I feel like is the most exciting part. But yeah, they go on the boat trip. Like him, there's a little time skip. Him and Aaron get fucking married. They go on the honeymoon trip. At the honeymoon trip, turns out like the Oriental man brings on Dio, and Dio just fucks shit up, bro. Like they went like Train to Busan on that bitch. There was the one vampire that infected that one motherfucker.
Did you see the one scene where they threw the buoy at one guy's head and it just fucking exploded? I was like, that's what I'm saying. Like sometimes JoJo's is needlessly fucking gory for no reason.
It was pretty fucked up. You think about it, cause like one motherfucker was on there and he infected everyone, so not everyone's a vampire. Everyone's kind of like running for their life. They can't escape because they're on a boat. So again, it's like Train to Busan. They can't escape the train because like the train's going, it's driving. So it was fucked up. But yeah, so we had that, and then obviously the whole ending, Jonathan and Dio fight once again. Well, not really fight, right? It wasn't really a fight.
It's kind of like the last ditch and like all the reconciliation of how they're like fated to go against each other.
Yeah, so, and then Jonathan pulls a suicide bomb, kills himself, pulls up the ship that Aaron has saved along with his child, and then that was the end of part 1. She goes sails away and she's rescued. That's the end of part 1. So,
that's the end of part 1.
With that being said, how do you guys feel about part 1 exiting out of it, like on?
I thought that was fucking boring.
It's boring. I fell asleep. It's too shallow. There's not enough story.
It was slow, and then a lot of the stuff was very tropey.
Yeah, and Jonathan is like a surface level character too.
Yeah, I don't like Jonathan.
Like, Paul, you said like he drives the flowers. And
he's not. It's like he is what makes the future JoJo. It's like every time you see a new JoJo, you see a part of Jonathan, no matter who it is.
True, but like maybe because his character was like. I mean, this character like screams like shonen protagonist.
Yeah, he's too perfect, right? So that's why like every subsequent character following has a flaw. You know, has a flaw.
Which I enjoy. I like flawed.
So that's why I feel like Rocky was kind of, you know what? I feel like he didn't look too far into it because I don't know if he thought like JoJo's would be so big following part 1, but like you know, I mean he just got off of like I think like Fist of the North Star and stuff. He made that I think. I'm actually not sure about that though. I didn't look too much at his manga past or his manga past, but. I mean, still, I feel like Jonathan would be important for future stories, and Dio would drive the story for part 1, 3, and
5. Right.
4. A little bit of 4 because you'll see him show up at 4, 5 because you know Giorno is Dio's son, and then 6. The only part he doesn't have a direct influence is 2, but he still has kind of a little bit of influence on 2 because that's how he discovered the Stone Master.
Yeah, they still talk about him a lot. Like,
so Dio is mentioned to all 6 parts. And then part 7, because that's alternate universe Dio. But let's not get into that until like if
So we
you
did
ever decide to read part 7 manga.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I thought if I had to rate it, right, I'd probably give it like a 6 out of like 10. I mean, I thought it was okay.
Fair.
It was
I mean, if 6 is okay and 7 is good, 8 is very good, 9 is like almost masterclass, and 10 is perfect. That is fair.
I think it's pretty fair. And then I mean, but yeah, the flaws that we just mentioned are like bland protagonist, kind of standard plot, very lot of shonen tropes you just see in general. But there's some good things about it too. I mean, I think Dio is a really good character. How they introduced him, he doesn't fully get fleshed out yet, which obviously because you see him later on in the series. But he was a good character. Like all the scenes of Dio, I kind of enjoyed watching because
he's so over the top.
It's
funny.
It's cool. It's cool to watch him, right? It's cool. And then the fight scenes were actually pretty cool. I mean, they're different than what I've seen before, so it was like very interesting to watch. I mean,
yeah, it's not just a slugfest most of the time.
Yeah, it's actually pretty cool to watch. I mean, on what else you enjoy?
It's a lot different from what I've watched, and it's good for a 2012 anime, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Better than Sword Art Online.
Alright, well, what would you say is better? The part 1 of JoJo's or the second half of Sword Art Online?
Okay.
JoJo's. Come on, man. Dude.
Yeah, you're probably right. I'm like, there were some moments. I mean, like.
Come on. 3.
Yeah. You're right. Oh yeah, okay. Part 1 of JoJo's is better. Quad, you said that like, a lot of people skip part 1, right? And you go to part 2, and it's like not really a necessary part of JoJo's. Like, I don't know. I feel like this kind of seems like a necessary part.
I said there's a lot of foundational stuff in part 1 that really sets up the the whole setting for part 2. I mean, I feel like people say you can skip it because it's only like 9 episodes. You can figure it out by piecing together like what Haman is and stuff. Like if you just watch part 2 only. But I get that. But I mean, I feel like watching part 1.
Did you watch part 1 and then watch part 2? Or did you go straight to part 2?
I was like, fuck it, I'm going for part 1.
Oh, so you watched from the beginning too?
Yeah, I watched straight from the beginning. But rewatching it, I was like, damn, this is a lot funnier than I remember it to be. It's because how seriously it takes itself and how over the top it is at times. It's like, how can you take yourself this serious when like you have like
it's unironically over the top.
It's unironically over the top. Like it's not like meant to be, like Araki was like, damn, this is a good ass pull. Like when he's writing this shit, and then
he's like, damn. Sunlight Yellow Overdrive. That's a fire ass name. Write that shit down.
And he's like, he's in water. And he's conducting Haman through water. Turquoise blue overdrive.
He's like metal. What was it? Like silver metal overdrive or some shit like that.
And he's like, damn, this is fire. It's like, damn, he's passing on his Haman. Deep past overdrive. And he's like, yeah. He's like, this is it. But it's still like a good foundational part. I mean, it's like as a setup to like the rest of the JoJo universe. I feel like this is great. The only thing they really changed is part 3 stands, and that's it. Like JoJo characters, the Jo Bros, like the whole story setup is still the same. You got like mini antagonist fights leading up to the big boss fight, and that whole formula doesn't change throughout the rest of JoJo's. And I feel like it's a good foundational point. And you'll see like bits of part 1 throughout the rest of JoJo's. I mean, and that's good. So I mean, if you watch part 1, good. You just have like greater appreciation for part 1 as a part.
I mean, I'm kind of glad I watched part 1 because I feel like when you jump into season 2, they do mention like Dio and Jonathan a lot, and Arena gets something. So I like that actually. Like, oh yeah, when they introduce Granny Arena or whatever, I'm like, oh yeah, I know who that is. And like, oh, they talk about Dio. Oh, I know who that is. Oh, the Stone Mask. I know what the fuck that is, right?
Oh, Jonathan. And I know who that is.
Yeah, when they introduce the vampires, like, okay, yeah, I know what the vampires do. I know how they're created. I know like their abilities and stuff, like what they need. So I'm not getting like, what the fuck is a vampire? Why are the vampires like running around everywhere? Like, what the fuck is this? Like,
so I feel like you can skip it, but it's like at your own discretion of how well you can piece together the rest of the story.
So even though it was kind of boring, I kind of enjoyed watching. Like, I'm glad I watched it. How about you all?
Yeah, it's pretty good. Well, not pretty good, but like pretty good in regard to watching the second part.
Like it actually, like I feel like it matters.
And then like once you get to part 2,
plus like a badge of honor, bro. You know when you like finish like a hike.
It's just like I watched all the fillers of Naruto.
You know like when you like.
That's like us in One Piece, bro.
I watched every single episode of One Piece. Well, it's not to the scale because like you're not watching.
It's like the Wii badge of honor.
I don't think I can watch 800 episodes of part 1 quality like anime. I'm like,
800 episodes of that shit? No, it's like when motherfuckers be talking about like shit that
That's like what? It doesn't get funny until like episode 80, yeah.
Yeah, hell no. 80 episodes of more. Why would I do that to myself?
It's like The Office. It's a sitcom.
Okay, think about it, right? Every episode's 20 minutes, right? 80 times, that's like, what, 1,000, something, my math's way off, but like, 1,600 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy, but I cannot do that. But, Let's move to the last part of this series. So Qualls also, we're not just watching it. JoJo's Qualls, reading part 1 of JoJo's along with it. How do you think part 1, the manga compares to part 1, the animation?
The animation? Like, what do you mean?
So like the anime. So like part 1 manga.
I feel like
compared to the
anime does something does very well. I honestly think it's probably a better anime adaptation than just the manga in general. Because the anime adds so much. I feel like David Productions is like the perfect studio for JoJo's. Because they add so much, like you see how they constantly swap color palettes, right?
Yeah.
The color palette swap would be like characteristic of JoJo's until way later. Until like, because that's David Productions style, right? The sound too, the hamon, the breathing, is like their sound design is absolutely fucking perfect.
That's right. I can't imagine reading JoJo. Like, oh, can you imagine like reading it?
No.
Because there's like certain plot lines you can read for, like oh how like you know how they win and stuff. Like it's like, oh, it's stuff like that. It's like, oh, pretty surface level like explanations and like their fights and stuff.
So
that's great. But what David Production does is just completely complements like how amazingly bizarre JoJo is as a series. It's like, oh, color palette swaps, like cuts, like certain close-ups that like not really in the manga, and like music. I feel like the OST for part 1 is fucking good. Like while rewatching it, I'm like, I have a deeper appreciation for like Zappelli's like OST, like Jonathan's OST, like the fucking when the trumpet comes on, you know, like he's about to fuck some shit up. You know what I mean? It's just something, the little things you just appreciate, like in David Productions, like adaptation that you just don't get in the manga. And I feel like David Productions just really just adds so much that makes it like even a more enjoyable watch experience.
Yeah. So far, you're saying that like you just prefer the anime adaptation over the manga.
That's pretty rare though. Like seeing an anime adaptation better than the actual.
Because I'm pretty sure
it really depends on the
all the manga for JoJo scored lower than what they did than their anime adaptations. So if on Mal, like if you look at the manga adaptation versus the anime adaptation scores higher. I'm pretty sure like Golden Wind Part 5 got like an 8.12 or something on like the manga, and like the anime itself got like 8.62. And then when you watch Part 5 and like Part 4, I'm pretty sure Part 4 is the same thing. You just like, wow, like sound design, the color scheme, like the characters, the voice actors, just brings them in. Because you don't really get about see how important the voice actor is until like you get like stands and stand rushes. But like I feel like Part 2, like in Joseph's character, like Gintoki's voice actor fucking brings the life out of Jonathan. Like you're like oh no, and it's like
For Joseph?
Yeah, Joseph for Joseph's character.
Joseph's Gintoki?
Yeah,
what the hell?
he's Gintoki. You know the guy from Daily Life High School Boys, the one who like fucks with like the river chick? That's fucking him!
Oh shit,
Gintoki has such a boring ass voice though. Like, I watched a couple episodes of Gintama, he's like...
So it gives him some range though. I mean, it's just like he has range.
Oh no, but yeah, I mean part like he does I feel his voice actor does so well in bringing it out, like, you know.
The voice acting is really good, especially like Dio's has a lot of things to do in the end.
And like it's like once you watch Part 3, like all the characters are just JoJo characters, or like every single anime you watch, like, oh, that's Dio. Like, you know, when we watch Attack on Titan, when we watch Attack on Titan, and you go to this Beast Titan, you're like, yo, that's Dio, and he's fighting Erwin, who is Jotaro in Part 3, and you're like, wow, that's fucking crazy. Is he like every single character you see? You're like, Eren is just fucking Koichi to me, because Eren's voice actor is Koichi's voice actor, so I'm like, that's crazy.
Everything's a reference.
Yeah, everything's just a reference. And I was like, so yeah, that's my take. I mean,
but
I think it's a really good adaptation.
That's gonna wrap up the JoJo's first podcast, guys. I mean, I don't know. Is there anything else you want to talk about? I think that we should talk about. You feel like we need to talk about? We cover almost everything that we probably for part 1.
Yeah, part one is part 1. It's the foundation. It's the setup.
I mean, definitely leaves me a little sad for season 2, because when we did peek behind the curtain, we actually did already start season 2. We're already episodes in to part 2, and I enjoy it so far. I mean, I think it's really good.
Would you say the first like 4 episodes of part 2 is better than part 1?
Already, yeah, for sure, dude, 100%.
Joseph's so good, dude.
Yeah, Joseph is like significantly better as a character than Jeff.
He will carry part 2 for you guys.
We'll get
and a little bit of Caesar.
We get that into more in the part 2 episode, which you guys should be expecting soon. I don't know how long it's gonna take for us to finish part 2. How long will it take Qual to finish the manga part 2? Hopefully, get out to you guys relatively soon.
I'm about done for part 2. I have like 10 more chapters to go, and they're really short chapters. So.
Yeah, but I don't know how long it takes, because we have like 15 episodes left or something.
We just got through 5. We have like 10 episodes left. You guys are on a good pace anyway.
In 2 days, right?
Yeah, hopefully we
2
can
to
do
3
it by next week, I'm thinking. But anyways, hopefully you'll see it very soon, nonetheless.
And then like after that, you part 3 is 48 episodes. You're like,
oh shit, really?
Just
Holy fuck. Maybe we'll break
2
that up-
seasons. 2
Yeah,
seasons.
maybe we'll break that up into 2 parts.
2 parts.
Yeah, break that up into 2 parts.
Yeah.
But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed watching. We have more JoJo's content coming for you guys in the future. If you guys want more just Weeb anime content in general, we got a Weebcast podcast. Like the actual standard version, this is like a spin-off series, right? This is like what's the JoJo spin-off series?
George Joestar?
George Joestar.
Yeah, like if our Weebcast like the main Fate timeline, this is like Fate.
This is like Fate Grand Order. And this
Yeah,
is like the
this
one
is
where
Fate
Ilya is like a magical girl.
Yeah, so this is like the spin-off series of the
Might
Weebcast.
as well
So you can check out the main Weebcast for more Weeb content for you guys in the future. Besides that, please like, comment, subscribe. If you guys like the video, hit the notification bell for more content in the future, and to see more notifications just for the part 2 of JoJo's. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you to my special guest today. Adventures Always out. Peace.
Peace.
Everyone do a stand. Everyone do pose.